everybody, and welcome back. It is me, Cyber Warrior, and today is WTF Wednesday. So what are we going to do? We're going to go through two interesting articles I came across. One is about a flaw that was patched with August patches in Microsoft Windows, especially domain controllers. And the other is going to be about QR codes. So I know QR codes are a little bit old, but some people have done some blog posts on it. So we're going to go through and get a better understanding of what's going on with those. Now, before we get started and all that, though, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. Hit that alarm bell so that you can be notified anytime I post a new video or go live. And then consider going on patreon.com/cyberwarriorstudios and becoming a patron. Or go ahead and visit my merchandise store at cyberwarriorstudios.com. Now, getting to business, let us go through and take a look here. And what I have are two blog posts about this. This one is from SC Magazine. It's an article. And it talks about exploit for critical Windows flaw allows access to admin rights. Now, getting into it, basically a vulnerability that Microsoft patched in August with a CVSS score of 10 allows attackers to utilize RPC calls via SMB named pipes and other methods to gain domain admin privileges. So let me reiterate. Domain admin privileges. So basically they control your entire network. So all it takes is either a foothold into a client, or even if you have some form of RPC or SMB available externally, they can basically destroy and decimate your entire network and go through and do whatever they want. They have keys to the kingdom at that point. So it was advised that you do patch as soon as possible, especially your domain controllers, so that your DCs cannot be compromised. And then, go about making sure you have all of your security methods put in place, right? So your SIMs, your EDRs, whatever the case may be, make sure you're using them. So again, SC Magazine states this flaw allows attackers to impersonate any computer, including the domain controller itself, and execute remote procedure calls on their behalf. So you're executing RPC calls on behalf of the domain controller. So you're not doing it as a user. You're doing it as basically an entire system. And if we go head over and look at the blog by Securo, who is the company that found the vulnerability that was patched, security expert previously discovered a less severe NetLogon vulnerability last year, but the attacker required to be in the middle. This one that was found, they don't have to be in the middle. All they have to do is have any type of function or any type of RPC access to the domain controller. So it is pretty severe. Again, please patch your just do it. All right. We all know Windows is getting more and more difficult. They're rolling out patches. They're rolling out updates. You no longer really have a lot of choice in the matter. But as I'm not a sysadmin, I'm not quite sure about enterprise level and servers. So if you do have an update on that, on how enterprise servers are patched these days, whether or not SCCM still allows you to hold back patches, please go ahead, comment down below and let me know. I'd love to have that information, just because I've been out of the patching world in SCCM for a little while now. But yeah, that's Microsoft. And again, what is Microsoft doing? Like, they rule out all these bugs. I mean, last time I talked about them, it was about 129 vulnerabilities were patched. I believe this was one of the 129. This might have been the month before. I think if this was in August, then yeah, it wasn't part of the 129. But either way, I get it. They are a huge company. It's a huge amount of code, like just massive amounts of code. But you would think with all of the issues with security these days, and even in the past few years, they would have a better process in place to really mitigate these things and get ahead of the game. But again, I mean, for as much as they do, as much as they offer, nothing is 100% secure. You're always going to have something vulnerable. A lot of times it comes down to the users. And sometimes with something like this, it's going to come down to the admins, right? So the admins have to secure and make sure things are patched and things like that. So when things like this roll around, you have to understand that it is critical. All right, there should be no, oh well, we'll get to it in 2 or 3 months. We got to test everything. This is definitely one of those ones you want to push out right away. So if you have the option in enterprise to push it out now, then go ahead and push it out right now. Right now. Actually, you should have done it, back when the patches rolled out. But if you haven't done it yet, right now, that's when you want to do it. All right. So moving on. The next thing we have to talk about are these QR codes. QR codes. What are QR codes? Well, in case you don't know, so if you're looking at my screen, which I would hope you are, YouTube video, should be. See this today's menu in this little square down here? All right, down here? Yeah, that's a QR code. Now, QR codes are used these days for, like they show here, menus, installing applications, your authentication, as far as if you're doing MFA with an authenticator. A lot of times you can scan a QR code and add it into your authenticator app that way. It can be used to sign on to Discord these days. A lot of reasons people have been using QR codes, right? And they're very valid. I mean, it makes a lot of things a lot easier. You don't have to remember, put in long strings of text or anything like that. But as with anything in technology, ease of use comes with vulnerabilities. Well, QR codes are being abused. And again, this came out a few years back. I think last year I heard something about, maybe a year before, about QR codes being abused for malicious purposes. And essentially what Threat Post puts up, and all these blog posts will be in the description down below, so if you want to read them yourself, you can. Because I don't like reading an entire article for you. I believe you're all intelligent and can read, so I don't want to read the entire thing, but to give you the gist of it, if we go down here, 47% of people that were surveyed about all this, especially since COVID hit and everything else like that, noticed an increase in their QR code use. So 47% of respondents have noticed an increase in their QR code use since COVID-19. It's a pretty decent, sizable amount of increase of QR codes. 84% of people said they have scanned a QR code before, 32% having done so in the past week, and 26% having done so in the past month. So without really knowing how many are actually 2,100 customers across US and UK were actually surveyed for this. So it's still a sizable amount, right? That's still a good percentage. You're looking at almost 1,100. So you're looking at over 1,000 people increased QR code usage. Now, going down further, here's where it gets interesting. Mobile phone users don't necessarily read everything that comes up, especially the what you're giving access to, what you're installing, what links you're going to. We just kind of want that immediate gratification when we're doing things. So when you scan QR codes, you're missing, sometimes you'll miss malicious intent. And in this article, and actually let me zoom into this one so you can see. Scroll down a little bit. Scroll down right here. Hackers are launching attacks across mobile threat vectors, including emails, text, and SMS messages, instant messages, social media, and other modes of communication. I expect we'll soon see an onslaught of attacks via QR codes. Now, the survey that was done, 67% in the survey are aware that QR codes can open a URL. All right, so we know that QR codes can open a link. We all know that links can provide drive-by downloads. Well, maybe not all of us, but a lot of people understand or getting a better understanding of the risks of technology, viruses, malware, things like that. What they may not know is that you need some type of anti-malware on your phone. I don't know about you, but Android especially, I always put an anti-malware program on there. Even though it comes with Play Store scan, it was just more beneficial because if I'm not mistaken, and again, one more time, if I'm wrong, go ahead and comment down below. Let me know I'm wrong. But I believe the Play Store or the scanning application built into Androids doesn't necessarily scan the entire phone. It really only scans the applications and the back-end hardware, or files and software, rather. But anti-malware will actually scan everything. So if you have something on your phone that was not put there through the Play Store, if it's not a legitimate application, it'll scan it and find it and things like that. So 19% of respondents believe scanning a QR code can draft an email. Yes, it can. All right, QR codes can do anything. Anything you program them to do. So if you wanted to draft an email, it'll draft an email. If you wanted to send a message, it'll send a message. All these things are possible. And a lot of times we allow it. We scan these codes, we don't pay attention to what it says, and we just click, okay, go ahead, please continue on, let me go about my business and do what I wanted to do. So be aware, QR codes are coming up and they're huge, right? Discord, you can sign into multiple devices just by scanning the QR code on your phone. So if you're signing on your phone, you can scan it from your computer screen and it'll log you in just like that. All right, all your MFA apps use QR codes. A lot of your menus and things like that are using QR codes. And what's to say some of these restaurants had somebody, create this menu, create this QR code for them and didn't put something malicious in it. All right, so let's be wary of that and let's be wary of the things we do. Always, 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 if you scan a QR code or if you are looking at something on your phone, please remember you should have some type of anti-malware solution on there. Even if it's an iPhone, find something that works. All right, there's been a lot of iPhone malware that came out recently that was built into the App Store. All right, so iPhone's App Store essentially was compromised, not by any negligence of the creators of the apps necessarily. It was the back end. I can't remember what they call it, but essentially the back end code that was being used to build these apps was compromised. All right, so it was malicious. And there was something like 2,000 apps or maybe more that were designed with this code as the back end. So let's be very wary of what we do. Now, saying that, it's been a great WTF Wednesday. It is hump day. Let us get over the hump, enjoy the rest of our week, get through our work week, and enjoy your time with your families this weekend. This Friday, I will be having another security happy hour with some amazing guests that I hope you enjoy. And one last time, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe, hit the bell, go ahead, comment, like, share, whatever with this video, and take a look at Patreon and my merch store, which hopefully this week I have some new gear coming in. So hopefully by Security Happy Hour, I have my hoodie at the very least. I've also got some phone cases and a hat coming in, but we'll see how that plays out. Have a good rest of your week.